All right, let's try this again. It's the post-game report and an accountability report on myself. As I began to say before Victor shouted to me that I was muted, it's the Patriots and the Seahawks in a rematch of Super Bowl 49. I'm already getting people asking me, am I going to cover that game? Because I did nothing past the divisional round. Thank you, Victor, my longtime engineer. Daniel Berry is with us. Thank you for that. If you like what you see and what you hear, then do me a favor. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the super chat. Please support this stream and the network. And also, you can do it via Cash App. That will also help us. It will help my family especially. But as I began to ask, how many points did Denver leave on the table, including the field goal attempt by Will Lutz late in the fourth quarter that was shanked way left, which basically ended the ball game? How many points did New England leave on the table? But they did the smartest thing when they were in range. They took the points. They took the field goal, and that wound up being the difference. 10-7 was the final. Drake May wasn't all of that, but he did enough. That New England defense is ferocious. Both defenses were ferocious this afternoon. But New England made more plays defensively, including a big interception, which set them on the way to Santa Clara, which is where the Super Bowl will be. But lost opportunities for the Denver Broncos. So unfortunately, and this is for all my friends who know and watch the show, the Uma Musume cannot run. So no more Uma Musume themes, although I have the feeling that will change anyway. Now to the NFC Championship between two rivals in the best division in football this year, the NFC West. Rams and Seahawks. Matthew Stafford, who is more than likely going to be voted the MVP this year, I beg your pardon, did Matthew Stafford things. Unfortunately for the Rams, so did Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks, and it's the Seahawks who outlast the Rams, 31-27 in a game that featured well over 800 yards in total offense. Hell, 800 yards passing, close to 900 yards of offense. But difference being, like I said, for the first game, Seattle made plays when they needed to. They led 10-0. Rams came all the way back in three possessions, led 13-10. And when the Seahawks drove down the field late in the first half and scored a touchdown, Darnold to Jackson Smith and Jigba to give them the lead, they did not look back. And that Seattle defense got more and more ferocious as time went on through the night. So we have our Super Bowl matchup. And for the third time, Seattle makes a trip to, the second time this year, I beg your pardon. Seattle makes a trip to Levi Stadium, and it's for the last football game, NFL game of the year. It's 2 weeks from tonight with a 6:30 kickoff time. Now, I'm going to be honest, as I begin my accountability report, I haven't decided if I'm going to call the Super Bowl yet. But I will say that these put a thought in my head, and I may as well expose everything right now. One of the reasons I have held back from streaming a lot of games, especially lately, actually two reasons. One, I wasn't organized, and I've been working on that for the past 2 weeks. That means getting a lot of my elements organized, getting a lot of commercials redone, re-recorded and organized, getting some good music in there also, and just a whole bunch of things. As far as my body is concerned, I've been doing a lot of sleeping, and it's nothing major. It's just my body has been in such a go, go, go attitude that when I finally took a break my body took a bigger break. So I am doing what my wife suggested I do and always suggests that I do, and that's obey my body, which I did. I've also been working on a good schedule to keep things up here around the house and make sure any and everything that needs to be done will get done before I turn this microphone on and before I turn this system on. So that is all. What's probably going to wind up happening and being set up is a work week play-by-play wise where I go Wednesday through Sunday unless I put something special on the calendar, and I'm tempted to keep the chops sharp. And also, I've teased the subathon a couple of times. I am going to follow. I am going to follow through with it. Just had a lot of things going on here to, kind of reset the brain, reset things here, and reset my attitude because my attitude the last couple of months sucked. Let me just be real. It sucked. A lot of people may not think that, but after a lot of time to think today and all the stuff I've been working on and all the things I've been cleaning out or cleaning off my computer, it came back to the fact that my attitude blew chunks. Period. A lot of that is physical because I haven't been getting any sleep. I've also been trying to get rid of the caffeine habit. I've also been trying to eat better. No, let me change my sentences. I am going to eat better. I am getting rid of the caffeine habit. This iced tea that I have right now is decaffeinated. The coffee that I have in the house, or I've since chucked that was in the house, was decaffeinated. And making a discovery that people were warning me about, and I was too stubborn to listen. It wasn't actually the coffee that was getting to me, it was the sugar. All the times I've had peppermint mocha and chocolate caramel and flavors like that, it was all the sugar that was getting into me that caused my body to go upside down. Wasn't anything to do with the coffee, though I do have to drink less of it. It was the sugar. And now I have written in my rules here that I have in front of me that I can't have anything sugary or anything heavy before I go on the air. Because if that happens, then my stomach will rebel against me and it would cause me to miss a stream and miss a show. It's self sabotage. I've been self sabotaging myself for the longest time, and I'm finally saying it out loud. My wife pointed it out to me first. Finally thinking about it, I have done a lot of self sabotage, and that stops. It has stopped. If I didn't feel good, I didn't do the game that I wanted to do. I listened to my body. That's the first thing I needed to learn to do, and I got to relearn to do it, and it's a daily process. That part I do know. So, taking Victor's suggestion, I will not eat anything heavy when it goes into the 2 hour window prior to my game starting or Snowman in the morning starting or any interviews I need to record or anything I need to do for the second show, which I'm planning. It's just some things that are enacted as of right now. And what I'm going to do programming wise going forward, I'm going to stick with Sunday Night Football, but I'm not going to do a play by play of the Colts nor the 49ers because it is too physically taxing. There are people, and a lot of these guys that do games on YouTube are dear friends of mine that can do 2 and 3 games in a day. I cannot. I am old school. I am of the mindset of getting rosters done, lineups done, depth charts, everything, laying everything out in front of me, and doing one game per week when it comes to football. I'm toying with the idea of covering the Indiana Hoosiers. If you all like that idea, put a one in the chat. And I'm talking about football for next year. Um, if you all like that idea, put a one in the chat. Should I just stay with the Big Ten or the SEC or anything like that. But it's one game per week, football wise, going forward, and that's all. I've done a lot better. I've done a lot better on focusing on one game per week and treating this like a network, like Westwood One, like ESPN Radio, like CBS Sports Radio, now Infinity Sports Network, or um, things like that that air weekly games. It's got to be weekly for me. Now, can I do one game per night? Absolutely. It depends on the time because what I want to set up is nights where I can be up late with the proper rest and nights where I want to sign off early because I am I'm making a shift, a big one. The one thing that worries my wife is the fact that I'll be so focused on doing this that I won't have any time with her. I'm not sabotaging that. So from here on out, you all may see me do a lot more matinee games, and I'm talking about early afternoon to early evening. In fact, the moratorium that I put on myself is that the latest game starts at 7 p.m., and I'm talking about Eastern Time. 7 p.m. Eastern is the latest start time, so I can get the game in, get everything sharp, sharpen everything up, iron sharpens iron, and then sign off, walk out of this office after I do the post-game report and my accountability report, which I am also adding, and just sign off, go to bed, get a good night's sleep, which is what I plan to do here in the next hour. I'm giving myself till midnight to finish everything I need to finish, and then get the heck on out of here and just go to bed. I haven't relaxed like this in a long time. Victor's been one of my biggest supporters. Daniel Berry has been one of my biggest supporters. Victor always tells me he's my engineer. I always say he's been my longtime engineer for 17 years. That actually has picked back up because since now with the advent of alternative play-by-play and doing this, he picks up when things are out of whack. Jody does it here in the studio, and Shane and Victor and my other partners in crime pick it up online. So that being said, gonna make a few changes engineering wise so I don't yank this cord out that's here to my left and everything messes up because there have been a few times that messes up. As far as Snowman in the Morning goes, we're making a few changes there, and these are technological changes because the last couple of months we've had to deal with a lot of lag issues, and that's because of equipment. Chris Dietz has stepped in, AB Media with us from Indianapolis, Indiana. Happy birthday, my friend. And basically has outlined the show the way I outlined it, but my stubborn self got away from it. I got away from the pattern. And once I get away from the pattern, it is a death sentence. It kills everything that we have built about Snowman in the Morning, and that's going to quit. That has quit. I'm declaring it right now. That's why I like doing these accountability reports. And if I have to do one every day for like 10 minutes, put it in the form of a diary, be done with that, then so be it. But there's got to be some accountability. I cannot keep floating along thinking everything is going to be fine, thinking everything is going to just work itself out, and I am not putting the full work into it that needs to be put into it. That is not the way to work. Period. That is not the way to work, and I have been coasting for far too long. And it upsets me. It upsets my family. Most of all, it upsets you guys when I'm not here, when I'm not at my best. So I made a promise at the top of the year, and I intend to keep the promise. What you will get from me is my best. What you will get from me every time I put this headset on, whether to do Snowman in the Morning, whether to do a play-by-play call, whether I do the Brian Snow Show, mic to mic, or anything that I have going right now, all you will get from me is my best. That involves me getting a good night's sleep. That involves me stopping eating at a certain time because it has to process and go through me. Kenneth, thanks for joining. If I'm going to turn this into a salary, which is my full intent to do by March or April of this year, to get enough income coming in from doing this that I can support my family. I can only ask so many times for you guys to support me before everyone walks away and I will be the reason. I took a long look in the mirror this afternoon. And you know when it happened? When I went out to feed my rabbit this afternoon, because I made 3 trips. I made three full trips to the barn, even with all the snow that we got here. And there are just a lot of things in my brain that I have to get rid of and will get rid of. And part of that is physical. Part of that is me having to get a good night's sleep, period. Part of it is me having to wake up on the right side of the bed every time and just say, this is going to be a great day. Now, is it going to be perfect the whole time through? No, not a chance. Not a chance is it going to be perfect every day. And I know that, and I realize that. That's why I keep doing it. I don't want to ever call a perfect game. I don't ever want to have a perfect show, because then it would signal that I've reached the pinnacle of what's going on, and I'm far from it. This may be my 30th year, and I got another 40 left in me before I finally hang this microphone up. I got another 40 years left in me. You all heard it here first. I'm hearing this voice, this this content, and everything that goes along with it. All the practice that I have put in, the practice I continue to put in. It's just a matter of me looking in the mirror this afternoon and saying, we have to get back to our routine that we had 2 years ago. And I stepped away from it, and it kicked me in the ass. Let me just keep it real. I stepped away from it, and it kicked me in the ass. So I have written out my play-by-play schedules for the different leagues I'm going to cover right here. I am probably not going to be on tomorrow night. If I do schedule it, it'll be in the morning. And if I follow through, and if I decide to follow through with it, it'll be a matinee game. But it's very likely, 99% likely, that tomorrow will be an office day, especially given the fact that we're cooped up here under a foot of snow here in Indiana. But it'll get right. It is going to get right. Once and for all, it is going to get right. And doing these post-game reports for the teams that I cover seems to be a better option for me in terms of producing content, getting you guys in on the fun. I will continue to do play-by-play, but now I'm structuring it where it works like a national network, because doggone it, Snowman Multimedia Sports is a national network, and it's going to stay that way. The only thing I have to work on is adding the video component that you guys are so used to, which is me having the scoreboard and then the scroll at the bottom of the screen. That's the only thing that I have to fix. And I'm going to find a way to do it. If it takes a while, because I'm still trying to fulfill my wish list that I have on Amazon, which you will see a link to tomorrow. So be it. I was so excited to get back on the air that I didn't check all of the details I needed to check. That's a mistake on my part. And now, making corrections as we go. And when I post the link for the wish list, if you can support that in any way, that would be appreciated. Anyhow, my time is up. Just wanted to give a quick post-game report with everything that's going on. And you saw it. Final scores: New England 10, Denver 7, and Seattle 31, and the Rams 27 Seahawks and Rams in Super Bowl 60 from Santa Clara. Seahawks and Patriots from Santa Clara. All right. Now that I've gotten that off my chest, I feel great about it with the folks that came in here this evening. I appreciate you. I'm going to finish up some things, and then I'm going to go to bed. See you tomorrow at 10 a.m. So long, everybody.